Now let's hear from our hosts in the Hungarian Presidency, Márton Nagy, Minister for the National Economy of Hungary.
Invitation or possibility to speak now. I will be a little bit provocative, okay? So I think just seeing this EU presidency and the competitive council as a president, and just following in the last 1 year what's happening in Europe, I think maybe we need more than small packages. We need economic revolution in the European Union. And thinking about in big rather than fine-tuning something. And I'm very happy that at least two reports is made by EU. One is Commission, one is the Council. Latta and Draghi report, they are both wonderful professionals with help for these competitive issues on the agenda, so just bring on the agenda. But you know, I have a quite straight point here, is that you in this room, you can make also a good competitive report. So if I ask you an afternoon that what is the problem of the EU economy, you can sort it and you can, as good as Latta and Draghi report on the table. So we all know that what is the problem. This is not an issue. The point is also, how can I say, misunderstand a little bit. The point is here is that where is the money? How can we finance a competitive turnaround and an economic revolution? So where is the money? Draghi pointed out that just suggest a common fund, which I think is not so welcomed and controversial things, and go back to a framework question, which means the fiscal rules questions of nations. The other point is, where is the cheap energy? Where is the cheap energy? I don't want to go in detail, but for example, France or Germany choose a quite different approach about where is the cheap energy again. So the major point, I think, is not closed yet. So we know that what is competitive problem. We all know everything, 130 points, 200 or whatever. But the main point is that where is it coming from, the money, and where we find the cheap energy source again. So I will deal with the first one, where is the money? So I think the money is in the national budget. We have much tough fiscal rules than the US or China has. They are pushing so much money in the economy from the national budget than ever. While we go back to the fiscal rules as Maastricht, which I think it was not a good idea. Moreover, it was a very bad idea. So just speak with the two reports, and starting with that, I think both reports is pointing to a good point, like single market questions, pursuing enlargement, enhancing EU security, or green and digital transition. So we have to make a strategic commitment about these points, and we have to transparent solution about this, including financial support and cost allocations. Going further, I think also it was very good points about preserving EU industrial base, the era questions, at least copying the era questions, and mobilizing private saving, which means common capital markets or capital unions. But all over the big question that we have a single market and we don't have a single market anymore. So the problem is that despite we wants to have a convergence between countries, we have divergence between the countries. After many years, still you pass the borders, for example, Hungary to Austria, and there is 5 minutes where you lose the mobile cells. And you don't have 4G or 5G, or you cannot call. You don't have access to the emails. How is possible? I'm always very angry if I'm thinking about that this is possible in the European Union. Then in a border there is a blackout of your mobile phones. So this is a simple examples how we're in a trouble. Okay, going further, Draghi report is more comprehensive. It's also very exact numbers about R&D, research and innovations or development money, and also a lot of regulatory question, industrial structural question, including vehicle industry, military industry, and so on and so on, and also a special attention with the relationship with China, which I want to go in detail later, which is not clear yet at what kind of relationship we have with China. After this report, we set duties or penalty tariffs of the EV cars, which is Hungary is not supported, but of course EU is EU, so now it is in place. But I think if we go to direction, this is still missing legs of the good economic policy. This is not enough. If we go to a way of some protectionism, I will also speak about this. So back to Draghi. I mean, these points is all very known. It's also about investments targets or new technologies or ecosystems. But this is again, this is very simple to state. And here is what Draghi has pointed very well. The cheap energy question. So after the energy crisis, the European Union still face more than double of the price of industrial retail power prices than China or US. And this is valid for the gas prices compared to US as well. So this is a big disadvantage. And you know, this can be a very persistent difference if we cannot change our energy structure, because you cannot subsidize the companies because of different energy prices, endless. So look at France. France choose nuclear powers. They have electricity of the €9 per megawatt. €9 per megawatt. While in the market you can find 150, 200 euro per megawatt prices. And what's happened in France? That electric mobility, EV transition, is much, much faster than every other countries in the European Union. I mean, Nordic countries are different, but France is ahead. France is doing well. They set a very clear target of cheap energy, competitive edge, and very fast EV transition, including charging network and EV cells. Come on, that's good things. Of course, supporting the protectionist questions, so the tariffs as well, but the other side subsidize very, very strongly the companies and households as well to buy EV cars. Okay, what is the consequence of this? Of course, high debt or budget deficit in the fiscal policy. But come on, that's the consequence. That's okay. That could be there. So I just switch to this one. So now France is exceed 20% in EV penetration. This is a clear EV cars, which meaning in the new vehicle sales per month, how much is the pure EV cars, not to calculate the hybrid one. Germany is back to 15, 1.5. And China is 30%. 30%. So this means that I think France understand well that what is the good way ahead. I mean, US is very lag behind, but again, I mean, the European Union, who is set to 2035 date as a zero emission, only France is going to take it serious, really. The other thing is that who has made the mistakes in other countries, whether the government or the sector or the vehicle industry or the households or whatever, this does not make sense. The question is that this country is doing well. And if you are speaking about competitiveness issue, you can understand through to the vehicle industry, very simple, because this is the heart of the competitiveness issue. When you're speaking about nowadays Germany, that how Volkswagen is seriously or not, saying that, okay, I close a free factory in Germany and fire out 10,000 people, whether it's true or not, or just wants to ask for subsidy for the government, but it's very serious things. When you see in Audi, a Brussels factory, which is shut down, and nobody wants to buy this factory. So this is very serious things. It's not happened. It's not happened like 60, 70 years ago. Not happened in the history. And if there is no industry, no manufacturing, no economy, how can we say that this will be a sustainable long-term competitiveness or whatever in the European Union? So these serious things is coming from the vehicle industry itself. Okay, just comparison of Letta and Draghi report, just go further. So I think this is the two big issue, not saying that, okay, what will happen with the common capital market, what we have with bureaucracy, deregulation, and so on. So we can make our homework. This is a must question. But the main really question is that where is the money, where is the cheap energy? Okay, so where is the money? So where you see Germany as a general government debt in percentage of GDP in the last 3-4 years, it was around 60-65%. If you see the European Union, it's much higher. If you see China, of course, you should take into account the state-owned companies where the debt is much higher. So it's 106. And if you see China, US, 123. 123. But US has a reserve currency. Okay, they can issue bonds, everybody is buying. China is a big market, they can also solve it. But European Union and the euro is also reserve currency. Okay, what's the difference? We have a very tough fiscal rules. Of course, there is asymmetry between countries like France with the running high debt, Germany running low debt or whatever. But this is a problem. If you see the general government net deficit in percentage GDP, Germany 3, 4.5 is the European Union, China is more than 7, US is 9. So why are you surprised that US is running much well? Why? Because US is spending 9% of the GDP as a budget deficit and majority goes to the economy. So where is the surprise? With money, I can also create good things and make magic. So where is the surprise? No surprise. So, and China and the US is running for much more debt. So if you see Trump, they will increase the debt further. In US, this will approach 130, or China will go up to 100. So where is the surprise further? They're pushing more money to stimulate economy. Maybe a lot of inefficiency with that more money. And they are not richer countries than the European Union or Germany or France. They're not richer. They say simple. We need now more money because digital and green transition is a structural change in our life. We have to finance this competitive turnaround. And this is not meaning fiscal alcoholism. This is not meaning. This is just the simple things that we have to win the war, which means we have to be the most competitive region in the world. And they do it very seriously. So this is also a point here, this fiscal support in the economy. Okay. This is also just a time series of budget deficit, yearly budget deficit, which is again, I mean, they're running 6, 7, 8, 9%. We are running 3 or 0. Germany is 0. So why are we surprised about that? R&D, US, in percentage of GDP, and China is running up. So this is on the right-hand side, the gross domestic expenditure on R&D in euro billion. So why are you surprised? And if they have, more money, if they make it serious, they are investing in clean technology in China, much bigger proportion and billions of euros than European Union. So just to understand the economic policy and make it right, there is 2 approaches. One is that no protectionism, which means free competition, globalization, international cooperation. This was the Maastricht economist. Before the COVID, this was the mainstream. Sorry, not Maastricht. This was the mainstream. This is a mainstream economist. Everybody say globalization is good, competition is good, everything is good. This will last in 2020. Then the COVID came, then the energy crisis came, and so on. And we say that we realized that somebody is running ahead, China, with the EV cars, with batteries, and so on. So let's go and protect our industry. Okay, it could be a good approach. Protect. But if you protect something, the tariffs is not enough. We said the tariffs, but where is the other 2 points? State subsidies. There is no state subsidies. In European Union, the countries is not pushing money in the industries. And where is the cheap energy again? So the other 2 pillar is missing. If you have these 2 pillars, it can be a rational temporary protectionism on the country. But we don't have these pillars. Or we don't have yet these pillars. So I think that's also a very big problem. Hungary is supported a lot of times no protectionism. But again, European Union accept the tariffs. But if we go to tariffs, we have to deal with the state subsidies of cheap energy. Okay, and at least I want to say something about what was the last competition committee meeting. We are speaking about directives. We'll have a lot of directives. You know, rare materials, AI directives. Oh, we have battery directives. You heard about electric vehicle directives? I don't hear about. We don't have EV directives in the EU. Why? We have so much directives to regulate this one, that one, and so on. But we don't have electric vehicles directives. What is the regulation of the, I don't know, the charging network? What is the subsidy? What is the rules of that? We don't have. You not realize that we don't have this? Okay, so I think we have to spend more. This is our what calls economic governance rules, which is now to exist because the financial ministers in the EU has accepted. It's done, but of course never done endless, so we can open it again if we want. Financial ministers has, of course, one rule to keep the fiscal balance in equilibrium. This is good. They don't care about competitiveness issues. If we care about competitiveness, we never go back to this. Or at least thinking about that how can we give money temporary for the industry to have this transition. Because it's costly. I mean, you all know, I don't want to go into detail, how much is the EV cars in Europe, how expensive this one, because the scale efficiency is low. Because if the penetration is low, scale efficiency low, this means expensive technologies. But if scale efficiency is higher than 30%, this means cheap cars. This is how a new technology is always starting. This is how AI is starting. AI is expensive, but there is a common AI solution, then go and it will be very cheap. We have to give money for the transition to finance this costly, I mean, at the initial status. And Hungary is giving a lot of subsidy in the economy, but Hungary is a very small economy. This is just some billion euros. And Germany is doing as well, but again, not just in an excessive manner. I just want to a little bit go further. So I think the proposal is something that we have to give temporary rules for fiscal rules to say that, for example, 1-2% higher budget deficit is okay for a free period of time if we spend this higher budget deficit for green and digital transition. But only for that and only for very temporary time. So this means that we can relax a little bit our fiscal rules. Without this, I don't think there will be a solution. And Germany must lead the change. So we know that what's happening in Germany, there will be a new government and so on. And if you just see that what is the reason about the crack, I mean, this is a reason of the crack is also the fiscal conservatism question. That there will be more money in Germany because the financial ministers, okay, I mean, everybody has the right to say that, wants to keep the zero selling in the sales. So this is the reason of the crack. So there is not a political, I think there is an economical or fiscal reason of the crack. This I think make changes in the future. So this is how I stop here and close my speech. I hope so there will be a wake-up call for everybody. But again, without money and changing fiscal rules, we cannot solve the situation. Thank you very much.